Chapter 126. Gardevoir wakes up shortly after Alex healed her injury. She showed a small smile, but for Alex, it looked as if she wanted to hide her sadness and disappointment from Alex and the other Pokémon. Alex looked serious when he said, "We're taking a 10-minute break. Gardevoir, come here please, I have to talk to you." Gardevoir and Alex went together to a sunny place with beautiful surroundings. Area 1 is really very peaceful and safe compared to other areas on this island. Undefined Alex sat on the grass and looked with a mild expression at the beautiful surroundings. Gardevoir said nothing and sat down next to Alex with a slightly confused expression. Though she can guess what Alex wants to talk to her about, she didn't think the conversation would start that way. After a few seconds of silence, Alex said quietly, "Kid, what's wrong?" Gardevoir, hearing this and feeling the feelings of concern in Alex's words, suppressed her sad thoughts and put on a happy expression as she said, "Father, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me." Alex, who heard these words, showed a disappointed expression. Although Alex didn't say anything, Gardevoir felt Alex's disappointment. The thought that her father is disappointed with her almost breaks her heart. She wished at this moment that she couldn't feel her father's feelings so that she wouldn't feel those painful feelings. Gardevoir couldn't hold back her emotions anymore when she said with almost tears, "Father, please don't give up on me." Alex showed an angry expression when he said out loud, "You stupid child, who told you that I was going to give you up? That you can even imagine these things makes me very angry." Gardevoir started to cry as she said, "But father, I can feel that you are disappointed with how bad I have fought. Please don't lie to me. I can feel these feelings." Alex gave a confused expression when he said, "Disappointed with how you fought?" Then he gave a small smile as he said, "Gardevoir, I don't care how you fought in the last fight. As long as you recognize your mistakes and you try to learn from them what you did wrong, I will remember this fight in a positive light." Alex showed a serious expression when he said, "Gardevoir, I'm not disappointed with you, I'm disappointed with myself. The fact that you've tried to hide your emotions from me shows that I'm not a good father." She showed a slightly angry expression when she said, "Father, you are a very good father. Please don't insult yourself." Alex, who felt the angry expression of Gardevoir for the first time, started to laugh as he stroked Gardevoir's head. Gardevoir pouted at her father for showing a happy expression on her anger. Alex stopped to laugh after a few seconds and said seriously, "Gardevoir, I can understand that you want to be an ADULT now, but you have to know that you will always be my child to me. You can talk to me about anything. Please don't start hiding your emotions." Then he said in a joke-like tone, "I don't want to guess the emotions as I do with Ditto." Gardevoir gave a small smile as she said, "Father, that's not very friendly. Ditto is much more open now than at the beginning." "Yeah, I know. That was just a little joke." Gardevoir got up from the grass and said with a smile, "Thank you, father." Alex also got up and said, "Gardevoir, we're a family. Try to worry less about things like that." "Okay, father." After that, she showed a nervous expression. Alex, who saw this, said, "Gardevoir, what's going on?" Gardevoir suppressed her nervous expression and said seriously, "Father, can you tell me where mother is?" Alex, who remembers the last time he answered this question, had a treacherous expression when he said, "I'll explain it to you when we leave this island. I have to show you a place to explain it better." Gardevoir nodded only and did not ask why her father suddenly became so sad. She didn't want to think about it right now. When Alex and Gardevoir came back to the group, everyone in the group gave Gardevoir a concerned expression. Even proud Pokémon like Crobat and Scizor showed slight concern. She felt that she had a wonderful family. Chapter 127. Scizor and Crobat, who are waiting on the battlefield for Alex's signal, look at each other deeply. Although neither would admit it, they see each other as rivals and as a benchmark to compare their progress. Alex took the chance to have a little fun. Welcome back, dear audience. Today the final takes place where we can find out who will win this tournament. Scizor and Crobat had very similar thoughts after hearing this. "What are you talking about, you stupid FCK? The last fight was 15 minutes ago." Undefined Alex ignored Scizor and Crobat's expressions as he continued. "On my right, I have the fighter Crobat who successfully prevailed against the participant Gardevoir with his very good luck. Gardevoir and the other Pokémon started laughing when they heard these words from Alex. Even Ditto, who often showed no emotion, smiled when he heard it. Crobat just had one thought: don't hit your trainer, don't hit your trainer, don't hit your trainer. Suppressed those thoughts. On my left, we have the defending champion Scizor, who has successfully prevailed against Ditto with his bot move. Although Scizor didn't show anything on his face, he is slightly annoyed that Alex uses the word bot move to describe his victory. Alex not only successfully cheered up Ditto and Gardevoir but also annoyed his two favorite troublemakers. He felt very happy with the result. He pulled away and signaled Scizor and Crobat to begin the fight. Crobat and Scizor immediately started preparing their moves without a word. Both Pokémon have already had good fighting experience and can develop a strategy that can bring them victory even without Alex. Although they don't have as good tactics as Alex, they are better than most trainers when they just have to come up with tactics for themselves. Alex, who spends a lot of time explaining to his Pokémon exactly how his tactics work and what advantages they bring, is a strange trainer for most trainers who do not explain their Pokémon tactics. He thinks that a Pokémon needs to understand his tactics and why he uses them to get the most out of his tactics. It reminds him of the saying, "Give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you will feed him for his life." Crobat, who finished first, was using Taunt and interrupted Scizor, who was about to use Focus Energy. Scizor, who realized that he was hit by this move, showed an annoyed expression as he ran towards Crobat while preparing a move. Crobat is also preparing a move at the same time. For the fairness of this tournament, Alex uses the same rules from the Kanto Rookie Tournament so that the Crobat cannot fly very high. Scizor successfully prepared his move Metal Claw, but had to get within range of Crobat to use the move. Crobat did not have this problem but took a good bit longer so that he only uses his move when Scizor is only 10 meters away and just jumps into the air to hit him. A yellow ball was thrown in the direction of Scizor when Crobat used his move Confuse Ray. Scizor, who is in the air, was hit by the move but showed a calm expression as he used his own move. He closed his eyes and attacked the place where Crobat was before he was hit by Confuse Ray. This trick seemed to work when Crobat was knocked to the ground when he was hit by Scizor's Metal Claw. To Alex, who saw Crobat being thrown from 10 meters to the ground, it looked like Crobat had taken more damage from the move than he normally would. Although he saw that, he didn't show any surprising expression. Crobat, who took a lot of damage, started flying again and quickly began to fly away from Scizor. At the same time, he started preparing his next move. Unfortunately, Crobat is way too fast for Scizor, who can't improve his speed, so he was unsuccessful in his chase. Crobat uses Shadow Ball while Scizor chases after him. Scizor tried to evade but failed and suffered some damage. Although it took much less damage than Crobat from his hit, it is still relatively good damage. Alex saw how Crobat outsmarted his opponent in this fight, too, and knew immediately who of all 4 Pokémon was the best at creating good tactics. Compared to the other 3 Pokémon, Crobat was by far the best, which surprised Alex a bit. Alex didn't think Crobat had such a good tactical talent, or at least not one that he was that much better than his other Pokémon. Scizor, who saw that he couldn't fight like this, thought about what to do next. He had an idea and started running away from Crobat. Crobat only showed a disdainful smile as he chased Scizor and kept the distance from the two permanently at 25 meters. He knew that he couldn't keep too great a distance, otherwise, it would be too easy for Scizor to dodge his attacks. Scizor, realizing that he had no choice but to fight at this distance, started using his only ranged combat move. Razor Wind. After almost 2 minutes, the fight was over with Crobat looking arrogantly at the unconscious Scizor. Alex, who saw this, does not think that Scizor was weaker but that the Crobat was better than Scizor in fights without a trainer. Although it is probably arrogant, he thinks that if he controlled Scizor in this fight, Scizor would win this fight. Not that that's important. He stopped thinking about these unnecessary things and started healing Scizor. Author, the main reason Scizor lost is because Crobat had all the answers to all of Scizor's strengths and Scizor had no way of doing much harm to Crobat from a mid-range distance. Razor Wind is okay but really not worth talking about compared to Crobat's expert moves. Also, Scizor's important move Agility was prevented by Crobat. The only thing that Scizor was able to use was the sandstorm hiding strategy that he used at the tournament. But this tactic is completely useless against Crobat, who is a flying-type Pokémon and can easily sweep dust off the battlefield. Scizor's two best strategies are completely countered by Crobat. Chapter 128. Area number 14. Alex and his Pokémon continued to explore the area together, looking for an Eevee. Although Alex wanted an Eevee, he would add it to his team only if it meets his minimum requirements. Unfortunately, he rarely met an Eevee in this area, and each of those Eevee was too talentless for Alex. Alex hadn't even seen a shallow silver Eevee. While walking, Alex and his Pokémon were often attacked by other Pokémon that Alex and company easily defeated. He tried to train Torchic or Shieldon whenever he came across a weak Pokémon. He didn't want to miss these little opportunities. Undefined Crobat notified Alex that a Pokémon was hanging on a tree 50 meters from here. Alex, who was walking in this direction, saw without any surprise that it was a young Ariados waiting for prey on this tree. Pokémon. Ariados. LV. 22. Abilities. Swarm. Gender. Male. Potential. Shallow Bronze. Moves. Constrict. Poison Sting, String Shot, Absorb, Infestation, Scary Face, Nightshade, Shadow Sneak. Alex thought, although he is a bit too strong, I can probably try Torchic for this fight. Torchic, who has not yet experienced a difficult fight, can use the valuable experience well. When the group was only 20 meters away, Alex said, Torchic, you will be the one fighting this time. Alex's Pokémon looked at him with surprise that he let Torchic fight such a tough opponent. This group knows that Torchic would very likely not be able to win against this opponent. Although Torchic has very good base values for a Pokémon with 2 evolutions, it cannot be compared to an Ariados who is already fully evolved. Together with the relatively large level advantage, Torchic's chances are not particularly good. The only 2 advantages of Torchic are type advantage and overheat being on the expert rank. Together with her okayish SP. At K of 70 and the move Sunny Day, Torchic should be able to inflict a ridiculous amount of damage on Ariados in a short time. Although it sounds like Torchic should easily win with these advantages, Alex thought differently. Torchic's best move, Overheat, can be used effectively only once or twice at max. So the Torchic has to damage enough with these hits to defeat Ariados, or at least deal as much damage that Torchic can and then defeat him with Peck. That means if Torchic doesn't hit Ariados twice with her move Overheat, she will automatically lose. Together with the fact that she can't take much damage herself, the Torchic's win rate shouldn't be very high. At least without the help of Alex. Alex, who knew this, would of course not let Torchic fight Ariados alone. After he decided that Torchic should fight, he went to Gardevoir. He told her via telepathy, Gardevoir, prepare the move Psychic to use in an emergency if it becomes dangerous. Gardevoir looked at Alex with a gentle smile after hearing his voice in her mind. Pokémon are usually so robust that they would hardly take any permanent damage unless they are unconscious. So the Gardevoir thought that Alex was very, very careful. Even without this, she and Alex's other Pokémon can easily save Torchic if something happens. Torchic showed a lively expression and no fear for fighting against a much stronger and more experienced Pokémon. Okay, Torchic. Start with Sunny Day. Torchic started to use Sunny Day without thinking, and the surroundings suddenly became warmer. At that moment, Alex thought that Torchic would be a good heater. Ariados, who had been watching Alex's group on the tree the whole time, saw Torchic suddenly make a move that made the air warmer. Although it didn't want to fight this strong group, it realized that it no more had a choice. Without hesitation, it started preparing a move while sitting in the tree. Torchic, now use Overheat. Alex saw that Ariados was preparing a move and knew that the best chance to use Overheat was now. For Ariados, who had no move on the expert rank, it was impossible to make any movement while preparing that move. So Torchic could easily get a free hit. A big ball of fire flew straight towards Ariados with a quick departure. Ariados was hit and was thrown off the tree. At the same time, the whole tree started to burn on which Ariados was sitting. To Alex's surprise, the tree stopped burning after a few seconds. Alex, who didn't quite understand why this happened, didn't think about it but concentrated on the fight. Ariados lost a ridiculous amount of HP from that one hit. It looked like he lost more than 70% HP. Although it was in pain, it still used the move that it had prepared. Two large pink-tipped needles were thrown towards Torchic when Ariados was using Poison Sting. Torchic tried to evade but was still hit, and the spot the needles hit showed pink color. Alex, who knows that Torchic was badly poisoned, showed no nervous expression. He knew that the fight was as good as won if he didn't make a mistake. As Ariados was preparing his next move, Alex said with a smile, "Torchic, repeat the move." Easier than expected. Alex saw how quickly Torchic can inflict damage on a Pokémon and was really impressed. As he thought about these things, Torchic suddenly started to glow. Chapter 129. Alex didn't waste any time and immediately took out the 3 scales of the Charizard filled with fire energy which he had received after winning the Kanto Rookie Tournament along with Torchic's egg. "Torchic, absorb as much energy as you can." Torchic nodded and began to absorb as much fire energy as possible from these scales. She stopped after successfully absorbing the energy of one scale and tried to focus on the evolution process. Alex wasn't surprised when he saw that Torchic could only absorb one scale. Pokémon with 2 evolution can often not absorb a lesser amount of energy during the first evolution. As was the case with Kirlia, for example. Undefined Torchic began to shine even more intensely and slowly began to change her body's shape. Alex and his Pokémon were eagerly watching Torchic, who was slowly transforming. After a few seconds, Torchic stopped glowing and showed her new form. This isn't even my final form. Pokémon. Combusken. LV. 16. Abilities. Speed boost. Hidden ability. Gender. Female. Potential. Gold. Move. Growl, Scratch, Ember, Sand Attack, Peck, Double Kick. Innate talent, Attract. Innate talent, Sunny Day. Innate talent, Overheat, E. Combusken, which is now 0.8 meters tall, is of the same size as a small child. Together with her cute look, she looked like a young kid to Alex. Alex saw the Torchic evolved correctly at the intended level and showed a slightly confused look. That's weird. I thought the reason Shieldon and Kirlia took so long was that they're too young, but after seeing this, I'm not so sure anymore. I should ask Professor Walder about this topic. Though he may also not know about it. Alex, who had spent the first few months in this world reading Pokémon books, knows more than enough basic knowledge a trainer needs to have. In these books, it was often said that it is not known under which conditions a Pokémon evolution occurs when no item is used, like evolution stones. Many Pokémon species have different requirements to evolve early, so it is not easy to test. In addition, there seems to be no general rule that is always 100% true. There are few tips, such as, young Pokémon are more likely to evolve later if they reach that specific level too early. But these tips do not always apply. Scizor looked wistfully at Combusken and thought, she's growing up so fast. Gardevoir, who can feel the emotions of others, could feel this strong emotion of Scizor. She remembered that Scizor also showed such emotion when she evolved. Although she also felt this emotion from Alex and other Pokémon, the emotion of Scizor was unusually intense. She gave a small kind smile as she looked in the direction of Scizor. Scizor noticed the Gardevoir looking at him strangely but said nothing. Although everyone is a member of the family, and Combusken does get along very well with everyone, she has the best of relationships with Alex, Gardevoir, Shieldon, and Scizor. Alex and his Pokémon started walking through area number 14 again when Combusken had calmed down a bit. After a few hours of pointless search for a talented Eevee, Alex suddenly heard from Crobat via telepathy. There is a group of 4 Pokémon 100 meters further down the road. Alex, who often heard this word from Crobat, showed no surprised expression when he went to this group. After Alex had walked around 80 meters, he saw 3 Pokémon surrounding a single Pokémon. The group of 3 Pokémon consisted of 3 Fearow. 2 Fearow were bronze and level 22 and 21. And the leader of this group wasn't much better either. Pokémon. Fearow. LV. 23. Type. Normal, flying. Ability. Keen Eye. Gender. Male. Potential. Bronze. Move. Growl, Peck, Leer, Pursuit, Fury Attack, Aerial Ace, Mirror Move. To Alex's surprise, the Pokémon, who was surrounded by this group of Fearow, was an Eevee. Pokemon. Eevee. LV. 22. Type. Normal. Ability. Adaptability. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Gold. Move. Growl, Tackle, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, Double Kick, Sand Attack, Bite, Swift. Underscore. When Alex briefly looked at the information, Eevee was fighting like a wild beast against the 3 Fearow. Although she was severely injured, in every attack, she tried to deal as much damage as possible to this group of Fearow. Alex, who saw this aggressive and brave way of fighting, knew that this Pokemon was perfect for his team. Ditto, Crobat, Gardevoir, end the fight quickly. The 3 Pokemon nodded and started to prepare 3 moves. After less than 2 seconds, Gardevoir used Dazzling Gleam, Crobat used Sludge Bomb, and Ditto, who had transformed into Gardevoir, used Psychic. The 3 Fearow's attention was suddenly drawn to the attacks, and they tried to evade them. Unfortunately, they were too slow and were hit. Each Fearow was severely injured and instantly passed out when hit by the move. Alex saw how easily this fight was won and understood why the number of enemies did not matter with a certain level difference. Eevee, who was helped by Alex's group, didn't show a thankful expression but an aggressive one instead. This expression reminded Alex of Crobat, who was very mad at someone and not of a cute Pokemon. Alex mumbled to himself with a smile on his face, interesting. Chapter 130. Eevee looked aggressively in the direction of Alex's group when they started to speak. Gardevoir transmitted the words of Eevee for Alex via telepathy. Human, what do you want? Alex wasn't annoyed at all when he heard these rude words. He just said with a smile, what do I want? It's simple, I want to ask you a question. It's more like an offer. Are you interested in joining my group and leaving this little island? Eevee, who heard that she had a chance to leave this island, grew interested in the offer. She had heard from the Pokemon around her that this island is very small and the world is so much bigger than one can imagine. Although she grew up on this island, she wanted to leave this island one day to see more of the world. Undefined. Although she was interested, she continued to show an aggressive face when she said, "And what would you do if I disagree?" Alex, who heard this question, didn't know how to answer for a moment. After a few seconds, he said with an honest expression, "Then I'll defeat you and slowly try to convince you of the advantages you will get." Eevee showed a surprised expression when she heard Alex's answer. Although humans rarely come to this island, many Pokemon have already met humans and know that humans like to lie. She was surprised that Alex didn't lie, that he will go away, but spoke honestly. Although she now had a better opinion of Alex after he told the truth, she didn't let it change her face and said out loud, "You bastard think you can just beat me? Okay, bring it up. Let's see who's scared of who." Alex, who heard this, looked at his 6 Pokemon, from which at least 4 are clearly much stronger than Eevee, and then gave a questioning look back to the Eevee. Eevee was not oblivious of the strength of Alex's Pokemon and knew that she had no chance, but she didn't want to lose without a fight. Though she was a bit annoyed when she saw Alex's questioning gaze. Alex made a helpless expression on his face as he said, "Can't we talk this out? I think it would be better if we talk about it and come to a decision peacefully." "Hey, bastard, can it be you looking down at me? How dare you? You piece of trash." Alex instantly stopped smiling and gave a cold look to Eevee. "Oh, so that's how you wanna play? You won't calm down until we fight this out. Fine, Crobat, I'll give you 1 minute." Crobat, having more than 15 levels higher, usually don't need more than 1 or 2 moves, so 1 minute is a lot of time. Eevee, who knew that she would have to fight the toughest fight of her life, showed no fear but excitement instead. Although Eevee had a slight fear of death, she knew that she would only be caught if she loses and won't lose her life. So that she could fight without any worry. Alex gave a satisfied smile when he saw how Eevee showed no fear and accepted this unfair fight without running away. Although Alex thinks he would never do that, it's a trait that Alex respects. Crobat started preparing a move without waiting for Eevee. At the same time, it was flying in the direction of Eevee at a fast speed. Eevee, who saw how fast Crobat was, immediately knew that there was no way she could overrun these Pokemon. So she also started to prepare a move. Eevee was still preparing her move, but Crobat wasn't gonna wait for her. He had prepared his move Cross Poison, and he quickly flew in front of her to use it. Eevee, who had already suffered damage from fighting the 3 Fearow, was not in good shape. so that if she was hit by Crobat, she should have become outright unconscious. But to Alex's surprise, Evie still had her eyes open even though she had already taken a lot more damage than her body can endure. When he saw Evie struggling not to pass out, he said, "Evie, even though you fought well, you don't stand a chance. It's better if you give up. I don't want to cause you more pain." Evie gave a mocking look as she used the move Rest to regain health. Alex's eye twitched, and he suppressed the feeling of mocking Evie. Although he calmed down, he still thought, "Humph. Do you think this can help you win the battle? That's cute." Crobat also shook his head, having similar thoughts as Alex, and started using cross poison again. Evie also started preparing for a move while being asleep. Sleep talk is indeed a very practical move. Crobat finished his preparation and used cross poison, which almost defeated Evie again. After that, he saw that it wasn't enough, so he started to prepare a weaker move to avoid causing too much damage to Evie's body. He knows that Evie is likely to be a family member soon, so he didn't want to cause unnecessary harm. Crobat was hardly hurt from this move and showed no expression as he continued to prepare for his next move. Using wing attack, he did more than enough damage to Evie to defeat her. Evie, who completely overloaded her body, became unconscious and started bleeding a lot from the wounds. Alex, who saw that Evie had her body covered with an unnecessary amount of injuries, showed a smile as he started to heal Evie and trap her in a Pokeball. He was very pleased with Evie's fighting style, even though he thinks she's a bit over the top.